So I want to talk a little bit about something that's happening that a lot of people aren't talking about. And also, it could be the source of the manipulation. And also, it's something that is not even being covered by the mainstream media. Banks, as of today, this morning, the OCC changed the crypto rule. What that means is that the federal government just said that banks can now hold cryptocurrency and they allow banks to store crypto assets, process blockchain payments, and engage in stablecoin operations. Now, clearing the way for institutional adoption. That's the first day of today. Now, for the last few months, they've been trying to make this happen behind the scenes, and it could be why there's been manipulation in the market. If you go back, and I said this last night on my live, is that if we go back to, let's say, previous crypto cycles, and we look at how long it took before we saw a credible rise in the price, it normally took about 12, 13, even 18 months. And we're only about 9 months. And this is from the halving, from Bitcoin halving. Remember, I posted a couple of videos over the weekend talking about the Bitcoin and how I like Bitcoin. A lot of people came at me and they said, I thought you liked the XRP. This isn't sports gambling. I'm gonna pick my team, you pick your team, and we argue about who's the best. This is not that. Investing has to be emotionless. Investing has to be you go for the right opportunities regardless. So I still think Bitcoin's an opportunity. It has the lowest risk out of any crypto. XRP is a great crypto. The risk versus reward in XRP is higher, but the overall risk is lower in Bitcoin. It's the most established crypto. So you balance that out, you buy a little bit of both. I'm more on XRP than I am Bitcoin, but still I got some Bitcoin in my portfolio and I still like that cryptocurrency and I'll still go to Bitcoin conferences. But we're just arguing back and forth. Mine's better than yours. You can't think like that. Well, if you allow it, everybody around you will have you thinking like that. I got to invest in this one crypto, every other crypto is garbage. That's what Bitcoin maxis are. But back to what I was saying about now banks can hold and transact crypto. We go back to previous Bitcoin cycle, crypto cycles. Bitcoin's the market driver. That's the reason why I said that. Bitcoin is the market driver. Everything happens because of Bitcoin. Now, in the future, this may not be true. Things change, but right now, that's the way it is. So we have to watch what Bitcoin's doing, the adoption that Bitcoin gets, the way institutions, banks, and elite accept Bitcoin, because that's what drives the market. Other than that, nothing happens. So that's what drives the market. So now, you go back to previous cycles, 2017, for example, and halving was sometime, I think April or May of 2016. At the beginning of that year, like we are now, Bitcoin was at $1,000. Remember, $1,500, $1,000, roughly in March. And the rest of that year went up to $20,000. This is a year after the halving. And then we go back to 2020, a year almost, by the end of that year, we wasn't up that much. It took 18 months, 20 months before we saw the peak of that market after the Bitcoin halving of 2020. These things take time. And in every single cycle, there's been a drawdown of at least 35% before going on to all-time highs. There's been one in every single cycle since 2013. And 2013 was like 80% before he went on to all-time highs. 2017 was 35% or greater. 2020 was 35% or greater before we went on to all-time highs. Normally, there was a catalyst that caused that to happen. This time, it was Bybit, it was the administration, it was a lot selling the news. A lot of people, traditional stock market people, actually sold on the news of the Bitcoin strategic reserve. With this happening, XRP is positioned for growth. Banks are integrating blockchain-based solutions. Ripple's XRP ledger is constantly getting approval from different countries all over the world. There's something big that happened in Singapore. There's something big that happened in other countries. XRP is starting to do big things behind the scenes. So a lot of people are saying, what's going on with XRP? Why has the lawsuit been dropped? Brad Garlinghouse was at the White House. These things don't work out. Like, how could he be at the White House? How could the White House actually said over the weekend that XRP, Solana, and Cardano are in Trump's radar due to their large markets and the way they function. So XRP is still on Trump's radar. Brad Garlinghouse was at the White House. So these things are still happening behind the scenes. We just have to be patient, right? XRP is still going to do well. I'm not worried about it. It's just that we're in a downtrend right now. If you actually zoom out, we're not in a downtrend because we started at 40 cents less than 100 days ago, 120 days ago. But now we're still at $2. We're still up 300%. It's just you have to be patient with these things. So the one big thing that kind of made me have more faith. And my faith is almost 100%, but I have even more faith because if you look at what's happening in the blockchain analytics, on-chain analysis, XRP transfers have exploded in the last 24 hours. Wallets have surged 600%. But it's because we have a date on the horizon. April 16th. That's the court date that Ripple versus the SEC has. And a lot of analysts are saying that's highly likely to be the day that they close this lawsuit. Now, the reason why we haven't seen a lot of people come into the market yet is because of risk averseness, right? Is that you remember these banks, these corporations, these institutions, they're not going to invest in XRP or start integrating XRP unless that lawsuit's clear. And I told people last night, I said, in tech, there's a saying that we have when I used to be a software engineer. It says, nobody gets fired for going with IBM. And what that means is that whenever you're looking for a vendor in a company, in a tech company, is that you can choose many different companies. You could choose IBM for your database, or you could choose this startup out of California that's doing great things. Or you could choose like one of the new databases, right? You could build your whole company on that. But if those new databases fail, you're probably going to get fired because the company is going to say, why would you go with an unproven technology when you got IBM right there? So that's why a lot of y'all have Levano laptops at work. They're not that good. They don't even look pretty, but it's because a person is buying those. A person that's in charge that looks at the situation, they say, I can buy these other laptops, they fail if they break, I'm going to be on the hook. But if I buy IBM and they fail and break, best I could do is go with IBM. Everybody knows they're a good company. So you don't take on any personal risk by going with IBM, regardless of what happens. It's the same thing with XRP. If people try to integrate XRP into their systems this early and the lawsuit is not resolved, people could lose their jobs, they could look bad. So a lot of people are waiting for all of this to be resolved before they do anything. They're not going to do anything until this is resolved. Sitting on the sidelines just waiting with institutional money, investment money, even hedge funds that may invest in this, they're not going to do it unless that lawsuit's clear because, to be honest, you even have a high level of liability with that. For example, I'm running a hedge fund, right? And I say, I'm going to invest in XRP and put half the hedge fund in XRP. So if XRP's lawsuit is not resolved, I'm going to get sued by the fund, the people that invested in the fund. Why would you invest in something that had a lawsuit on it? That's negligent, and that's also incompetence. So we're going to sue you for that. Now, incompetence you can't get sued for, but negligence you can. That's negligence because you did not know that was a lawsuit. So even if I believed in XRP, I would not put it into a fund until that lawsuit was clear. I would do it immediately, but I would wait because that creates a lot of liability for somebody who's the head of something like that. And that's the reason why we haven't seen a lot of XRP inflow from these institutions yet. So the second thing I want to talk about is that we just talked about how the banks now have the authority to both hold and sell cryptocurrency. Now, that could be why we've seen this mass manipulation, because the banks aren't done accumulating yet. The banks, and the thing about it, we've seen it over time. If you pay attention to what's happening, even if you go to Bitcoin conferences right now, I've been in this for 10 years, 12 years, since 2011, 14 years. When I used to first go to crypto conferences, there were like almost a counterculture there. You'd see people like libertarians, you'd see anti-government people, you'd see people anarchy and stuff like that. It was a mix of different types of anarchists. And there was another one that maybe another person who wants to live off the grid, another person's anti-government. Those are the kind of people that were at crypto, kind of dark web people. Over time, it turned into almost all corporate. You go to a crypto conference now, it's almost all corporate. Michael Saylor, Trump, mostly politicians. If you notice what's happening, corporations are slowly taking control of this industry. They're slowly taking control of it. So that's what's happening right now. So if you see the writing on the wall, that's all this manipulation is about. It's like corporations, they have to have control of this. And I've been telling you this for years, is that this was going to happen. Eventually, all of crypto will be controlled by corporations. And that's when they'll really let it go, because they have control of it. Remember now, 20%, 15% of Bitcoin is owned by BlackRock, MicroStrategy, and also the US government and various corporations. So once they get 40, 50%, then yeah, they're gonna own all of it. Then they can let you buy whatever you want. And all of a sudden, the market won't be manipulated anymore. So let's talk about, like I said, April 16th marks a key date that could reshape the future of XRP, removing the biggest roadblock to its mainstream adoption. Institutional money is on standby. A resolved case will open those floodgates up for major institutional investors and a lot of financial firms who have structured products around XRP. So there's also XRP ETF speculation.